In October 2021, Railroads Online was released into early access. Stefan, the developer, had previously written American Railroads, Summit River and Pine Valley in Unity, but decided that game wasn't what he wanted it to be and started to rewrite it using Unreal Engine. As the work progressed, the game took its own direction, and in October 2020 it was announced the update would become a completely new game. Railroads Online was born. I purchased the game soon after release and started to make videos. The first series was difficult as the game was raw, with locos derailing or even flying into the air for what seemed to be no reason. Through early access, I covered the game's major updates and saw the kinks slowly being ironed out and new content added. And after a long journey, the game became what it is now. Today, the game reaches version 1 and leaves early access. Over the last couple of days, we've been playing on the new Mesa Plains map, so if you're looking for pure gameplay videos, look above and a link to that playlist should appear. Also, if you just want to see the updates between the previous and new version, there's a separate video also linked above. Now this video will take a wider look at the game and it's mainly aimed at new players. So, what is Railroads Online? In short, it's an open play railway simulator. You build track to connect various industries dotted around the maps and then drive trains delivering goods to and from those industries. There's a couple of places in each map where you can sell goods, so you need to choose what industries you connect and what you wish to sell. There's no automation and you have to do the work manually. There's lots aside when starting out. You'll need fuel, which at the beginning is wood, so you'll need to connect the forest. You start with a basic loco and some wagons, but you'll need more. And to get those, you'll need more money and experience, which is earned by selling goods. So no matter what your ultimate chain might be, you need to decide on an easy to get product to sell at the beginning. Cordwood can be obtained from the forest as a good starter product. Connecting the forest to the sawmill will allow you to create planks, which could then be sold for more money. Loading into the game on PC, you'll see this menu. The game can be played using mouse and keyboard or joystick. So you'll see single player, multiplayer, tutorials, community, options and quit. Community leads you to an external web page. Tutorials will take you to a list of tutorials that you can actually complete, and we're going to look at one of these in a moment. Multiplayer takes you to the multiplayer list. You can host or find a server. Clicking on there, you can then choose a map. If you choose to host a server, you click on host. So you would simply choose one of the maps. Choose either pre-laid or not. If you don't, you just get the starting bit of track around the sign area. I'll show that in a moment. Pre-laid is literally pre-laid. Everything is made. You can change it. You can completely bulldoze everything if you want to, but it's there. You don't actually have to if you don't want to. Now the single player mode is pretty much the same. You have your saves down here, the ones you've done. Every save so far does seem to actually work. Again, as you can see here though, it's exactly the same as before. Now look at the controls. If you're using keyboard and mouse, you'll see this. If you are using a game controller, I'll quickly connect it. Hopefully it will change over. If I do that, yes, I just got to touch it and it changes over. It doesn't look like you can actually change anything on the game control at the moment. Rebound anything. There is one issue with that, which I'll show you later on. Now the issue is really down to the change in fly mode. This key binding here isn't available on the controller at the moment, which is a pity. I'll show you when we get into a bit of gameplay. So you've got that, you've got audio, so I've got the music turned off just in case of copyright. It's probably fine. Got language, there's quite a few languages here now, and video. At the moment we've got it set to epic. We will need to turn it down. My setup is i5 12th gen with a 3070 Ti. Now, I can have most of these pretty high, but I can't have all of them. I would, for instance, set this down to medium, visuals down to sort of high, and I can really get a 30 FPS on that. If I set things much lower, I can get up to 60. It depends on how much you build. So the video will be mostly based around showing you the maps with things built on, so you can see the worst case scenario. When we load in, I'll load it into Epic. Okay, I think at this point we're going to look at a tutorial because this is a good place for new players to start. We'll look at tutorial 1. So you're loaded into the map. Top left it says welcome engineer. In this tutorial you'll do something. Basically it wants you to follow these arrows here. So in it says walk over to the locomotive, and it's gone away again, the text, isn't it? Maybe that should stay a little bit longer. Either way, it's fairly simple. To water your engine, there's actually 2 ways. You can do it manually by standing over it. You hold your mouse on there, hold the left mouse button, pull down, and it will come back down, and as soon as it reaches a certain position, it will start, you can see it starts watering. That's it. Now if we look above, this is the bit of the tutorial it wants to hold here and open it. Honestly, it really doesn't matter to be open or shut. Now, as you can see, the water's actually going completely out. So if we lower a bit more, maybe it'll go into the middle. I think it will. There you go. So it's actually filling it up. How do we know it's filling up? So if it says enter vehicle, press home. Press home. And there we go. It's now completely filled up with water. So now we're twisting the mouse and pushing up, and it'll go back up again. Go on to this one then. Right, so it's also saying that water can go on tenders, so yes. In this case it would be here. So I don't know if it's going to want us to do this in the tutorial, so we're going to open it, hold the mouse button down, that's it. It's very simple. Most of it, I think, in this tutorial you will actually learn yourself anyway. Right, so this is firewood, which you'd put in here. You click on it, left click, go in it, and right click and put it in. So it can take 470. Oh, I think it's said that's enough. Right, so we've now okay. So on this one, it wants us to do that. So again, hold the mouse button down, pull down. And the coal. Now you have to fill this up manually. You'd get this from the coal mine, actually within the game. Coal trains are later game. You can see it says 17 here now, 25 at 6. It'll keep going up. The wagons are exactly the same when you fill them with coal. You'll see the number on them, and liquids. The whole game's like this. Congratulations, you now learn to supply your locomotives. Open the sand dome. There you go. This is the sander here. And it's also got the X key. On and off. So you'll notice it pulls it when you press that, and this will be how much. It will gradually go downwards as you actually do this. So let's take a look at single player. We'll create a new save. We have the 4 new maps. If you're on console, at the moment you won't have the mess of planes, but that should come later. You can preload or not, as we've discussed earlier. So we'll go for preload. Click confirm. Then we get to this menu. Physics, beginner, realistic, hard, medium, easy, beginner. We'll leave it on beginner. Right, so here we are. Alt R. It doesn't want to show us the FPS. There we go. 29 FPS. If I press escape, there's options. We go into gameplay. Now, gameplay options are only available when you actually play the game. Let's switch dynamic weather off. We'll change it to blue skies. Day cycle's already off. We're going to change it to 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8:30. You can see there's a few other options, and you can switch fuel consumption back on. There's a few things about the menus here. You can have a few extra alerts. The map itself, you can switch it on or off. So keybind for that. So far the graphics aren't highest they can be, but I wouldn't play it like this because the FPS will get a little iffy as you get more locos. So if we click M for map, pull out a bit. So this is how this map is. This is our starting location. There's lots of industries everywhere. So on this map, the logging camp's here. That would be the first place you might want to go to. So you create your tracks down to here and connect it up. I think I'll show you something which I couldn't show you in the... I thought we would be. Now, if you put your engines away at night into a roundhouse like this, it will automatically refuel everything, which is brilliant. As home, first thing you want to do is put on the compressor. Without the compressor, this particular engine won't actually brake. Now, I do know that they have put that brake on, so we'll take that one off. We'll do a first person for a moment, so the brake is off. There's no point it would be on anyway. Oh, reverser. Take it back. Put the accelerator on. Alright, is that good enough? I think so. We're going to head down that one, so we need to turn it around. If you notice, it says hold left to clockwise, right to anti-clockwise. Clockwise. Get on here. We can actually go around with it. Are we there? Oh, a little bit too far. I think we're done. Now this time we're going to drive from here. Let's see, let's see. Oh, brakes still on. Now in the tutorial it showed you a way to actually fill up. Also in the tutorial it said to re-keybind everything. So my up arrow, if you watch the regulator, down arrow is for that. And my left and right is for the brake. Is the brake working now? Yes, it is, so it's charged. So this one does require the compressor. What we're looking to do is, we don't really need to do this, but I just want to show you that you can do this. This and this, you can actually fill up without. No, this is the best angle I can get, which is annoying. Okay. So if by default it's up and down arrow, but for me it's insert. You can actually move to this. You can actually move to anything which is connected to your loco. So if there's more stuff to it, you could keep going down the line. I'll show that again in a second. Now if I press space, that goes down. Now that's no different to what we did earlier by going under it and manually pushing up and down. Now we don't really need to do this as before, I just wanted to show you. Okay, so let's set the brake off. Off we go. And we're going to connect up to those. Now there's two ways we can do this. We either click on the map, we can change the points there, or we can get out the loco and do it manually. Now there is a slight issue I've noticed. Now this is a pre-release to version 1. When I clicked on the map a moment ago, so I just recorded this little segment a moment ago, I was in the loco, which you can do. I couldn't get out of this. Everyone just went blank, and it crashed the game. So, yeah. You can do it though. You see it's there. If I can get it so you can see. I press map. There we go. So if I click on it there, you see it's changing. Now it hasn't crashed every time I've done it, but it can crash. But you can actually get into the map whilst you're in this control here. The problem was, you see, you can clear everything. That's how I got. I couldn't get out of here, and I couldn't get out of the loco. So, be mindful. Oh, I should do this for first person, why not? Put reverse back. Okay, you can sway to one side. Trying to look where we are. I can use this a little bit. Oh, I think we got it. My Jeeves, I think we've got it. Now it's likely that the brakes on one of these, at least one of these, is going to be on. And that one, for starters. That's off. Where are you? The caboose is off as well. So you can get into these cabooses. Can't do much in them, but you can at least get in them. So if you're playing multiplayer, you can, at least someone can ride in there. So as I was saying earlier, you can actually go to the end where you want. I'm fairly sure the brakes come on somehow. Well, we do have a brake on. So first thing we want to do is change these points. I think it's this one here, isn't it? There we go. So it's now going left. Why inadvertently put some of these brakes on? Yes, that one. Strange. Once again, we'll go to the back. We can go so we can see what's actually happening here. Okay, so press C to go back out a bit further. So we're going to line these up, hopefully. Put the brake on, press space, this one will hopefully start moving. Move up to this one, press space, hopefully this one will start moving. This is a lot easier than it used to be. Right, so the other way to do it is to go up there once you've lined it up. Go on there, press there. Go on there, press there. Now when the game first came out, you'd only do one, and then you'd have to press on it again. So there's a lot of updates have happened to get to this point, so it's so easy, and especially so you can actually do it in game as well. Now the gameplay on every map is exactly the same. It's just things are positioned differently. Some maps are easier, some maps are harder. Now we're just going to take this back to sell it, but you could take it to the sawmill. Then that would produce lumber. That's it. That's what it produces. Then you can go and sell that. But lumber is also used for something else, so you put that into a different industry. You can see how this chain of industry is actually put together. So we are going to go and sell it there. We'll reverse in a second. So we can see exactly where it's when it got to the end. Put the brake on. Now once again, I am going to go and do this manually. You can do it from within there, but because I've already been scorched once, I had to restart the recording of this segment again. Let's not let that happen. You won't get much money for logs. You get something, so it's worth doing, I suppose, if you have the wagons at the beginning. It's not very far away, that's the point though. Okay, so much just like loading, you can just cut space. Does it enter? Enter, it says it down there. Or we can get out. Now if I press P, we've made $72 for that. And we've got 72 XP. So we click there again, enter, you can see it's done it again. And there you go, you would just continually do that until you get more money. Going back to the map. So if we wanted to sawmill, we would, I think it's up here, isn't it? That's the wheat farm. That's the sawmill. They've placed the sawmill. Or two of them. So this is where you dump them. Don't keep both sides, but this side, it will then count. There should be a 0 above here somewhere. There we go, there it is, log 0. And on the other side is where we produce something. So that will produce lumber, and at the other side it produces beams. That's the one. So you could go sell those, or you can put them into something else. Yep, there's the coal mine. It does need the beams. You look on the output of this one, it says goods out, and there's the beams. You can see the symbol and everything. It's fairly, the game is self-explanatory, and you can slowly get it. So that was the Lake Valley map. So let's look at the Pine Valley map. Now shortly we're going to look at the very quick look on the Steamdeck as we run in this map. So don't buy this game for if you want to run on the Steamdeck. But I am going to show a little bit of gameplay on there, just of that loco running to the end and running back, and a tiny bit of build. It's a nice map. Once again, this gameplay is exactly the same. There's actually no difference. There's log and co. Yes, this is original because you went round the hill. I remember. So again, you start the sawmill. I mean, you start the log and can't go to the sawmill. And up here is very, very hilly. I wonder if we can actually go over that way. Yeah, so this is the coal mine. The coal mine. Yep. Have a full series on this map. Well, actually, all the maps so far. No, we don't have a full series. We tried to get you coming from there. We tried to come. We skirted in this series round this way. At the beginning of the video, I showed you the loco actually spinning up into the air. It's just over there. On this map. Just over there. I remember it was oil. Where is it? The other side. Yeah, because you have these little barrels and they run down. They run into there into your wagons. Very nice way of doing it. Okay, so let's look at the next map. So next one is Aura Falls. It's fairly new actually. It's the newest one apart from, well, this one which isn't coming out today. Now, I didn't think this was this big. It says it's 36, but hey, let's have a look. There we go. So again, it's the same assets. Third time the same assets. It's just they've just been placed in a certain way. And again, every one of this series I've built these type of little towns. They're very easy to build. Again, they're going to props. You choose what you want. You'll notice in the middle at the bottom it says 10. Now if it says press 1 to change it. This is how fine the movements are. So if I press 1, it's movement of that. If I press 10, it's movement of that. 50, it's movement of that. 100, it's movement of that. It's exactly the same on everything you make. There we go. Add another building in. Now, what I really am wondering is what locos are actually giving you on this pre-made map. And where are they? Ah, must be over there. Middle click, got to fly. Off we go. They're giving you 2 engines. Same as before. They're giving you coal as well. Very nice. Now, it's not a massively big map. So at the sawmill. It's rather picturesque, this map, isn't it? It's got a lot of undulation, this one. You do have to get to a lot of different heights. You can see that the map, though, does have areas where they intend you to put track. So no matter how you play it, you're probably going to end up putting tracks in similar places. Now in this area, I went above, and then I had another track coming down. But I stayed above because there's something over there which we're going to head to in a second. I think it's probably in the same place. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, we got to it virtually the same way in the series. If you've ever watched the series, yeah. The only difference is that we have an extra track going this way, in the way I did it. Now going up here, you get to the final bits of this map. If you're doing gold and stuff like that, you see the tracks here. You wouldn't make it that way, you do go that way around. Take you to this one because it's fun. Let me Yep, they've done it a very similar way to I done it. That way it goes down to there and that connects to there. So you need water. You need gold ore, which is that way in the dredge. So that was the dredge down here. Is that the dredge? Meat packing plant. Dredge is here. So we are over here. So we had a line in a similar sort of way. Well, no, you've gone that way, haven't you? We had a line going that way round and in. But this is one of the later additions. It does look nice. You don't see the stuff going through it, unfortunately, so when you're actually putting stuff on it, you don't really see anything here. That's an addition, so that's another input. You need cordwood. Then you get the refined gold, which you smelter it, and then finally you take it just down that way again to this place, and you sell it here. I think as I said at the beginning of the video, there's a couple of places you can sell things, and it depends what they are. You have to drop it off. Here's the gentleman with the gold safe. Now this one you can actually go inside. Got a waiting area for maybe a train. You could use it as a train station as well. So let's take a look at the Mesa Plains map. Now this one's coming out with a full release on Steam. But as I said before, if you're on console, you'll have to wait for this one. So here we are. Now the FPS on this one does dip quite a bit. This one's very arid, this map. It's very flat, although we've got all these things on here, these hills. Pretty much everything's on the flat. There's no reason to go up any hill, so it's pretty simple to actually build. There's two things this map has got. One is tunnel. None of the other maps have got any tunnels. They're pre-laid. There's one over there. There's a double over there. On the other side, there's another mountain. There's another one. And there's one which is higher up here. This is a bit of a weird one. There's no reason to ever use this one. I'll show you it. Now, they've laid the track quite rightly down here. But you could lay track up here. Why you'd want to, I don't know. Other than the fun, that you could. There's the tunnel. But your connection would really be on the ground. And there it is. It's the mine. I've just given myself loads of money, loads of XP, so we can now look at any of the locos we want. This is the newest. Suppose it's the biggest ever, largest 3-foot loco to ever go in or ever used in the USA. It used to be level 12. It's going to cost 33,000. There it is. What a monster. If you look at the size of that one, compared to that one. The other thing I've noticed, we've got fuel basically set to 0, and I did an update video very shortly ago as well. Get in, please. Get in. That's the only area to store coal, so that you wouldn't really go that far in this one. Which one would I use? Yeah, maybe that one. That's interesting. Let's push that one off. Okay, well, let's reroute it. Again, this is something you might have to do at some point. Middle mouse button, put it down to the bottom, pull your mouse back. You select it and it will say it. then a little green arrow will come up saying you can place it. Well, there you go, you can place it there. So we'll place it there. And it placed it on top of me, because of course it did. Luckily, you can keep it on there until the green arrow. You right click, it goes away. So now there's no fire on any of these. We could fire it up, I suppose. Left click, right click, left click, right click. The more locos you have, the worse your FPS is going to be, so probably the lower you're going to have your graphical settings. No idea how it's going to play on PlayStation or Xbox. You can also customize your locos. Give them names. You can say how many you want. Paint. They got various paint jobs. The thing I want to show you is us running through one of the tunnels. Let's right, so it is going that way. Click that one. There you go. Break off. Off we go. So we're going to look at the, in a moment we're going to look at the track building properly. We're going to look at the, just using controllers, and then we'll quickly look at the Steamdeck. I done another update video, another video today for people who actually already own the game, just wanted to know what the updates are. The updates are 2 locos in the map, if anyone's just wondering. If you've pre-ordered the game, or if you've owned the game in early access on Steam, then you also get a free DLC which gets you a couple of extra bits as well. Right, so if you angle your camera outwards now, it won't let you glitch through. Well, I'd hope there'd be an echo, but there isn't, is there? Right, so if we put a generator on, that'll put the lights on. Right, out we go. So the other track goes up to there. I think there's a sawmill that way. There is one other thing I want to show you on the map. I think we leave the engine here. The brakes on. Now it's down that way. Oh, are we going to see it or not? There's a boat which comes in here. I'm not entirely sure how long it stays here for, but it does leave. So this is one of the places you actually sell stuff. I thought we've not had anything like this in any of the maps, so yeah, it doesn't look, you know, the best, but I think it's great. As I say, we've caught it here, but it doesn't stay here for very long. It does leave, and we can't go out there. Doesn't allow us on there. I'd love to go on there. Looking on top of the mountains, you probably could build on here if you really wanted, but there's absolutely zero reason for you to ever do that. That's the way we came. Okay, so let's look at building them. Press insert, click on track, click on the variation of the track you want. There are 3 different heights, so if you just want it to the ground, that one. If you want it absolutely to the ground, that one, but with a little bit of ballast here. Now, one other thing you want to do, and I did mention this at the beginning of the video, there is a slight issue. with controller support. You can just build on the ground. A lot of people will want to do that. So you can just do this, click on it, make sure you get clicks again, and you can do it again. Alternatively, you click on it, then you look at the, it says 5 is free, so we click on it, just loaded a little bit earlier. So we can press 8 to raise it up. See, now it's above where this one can actually go at that point. You'd have to use the one with the larger ballast. Or you can take it down. You'd click left. Now if you press 1, you can 10, 100, 1, 10, 50, 100. You can make big turns like that, but you do that, you're going to go very slowly, and the bigger engines are going to be, well, I think it's going to be knocked off. So you're not really going to want to do that. Now, going back to what the issue is, let's say we're building from here. If you press spacebar, you can actually look down and push forward. Press spacebar again, push forward, you go down. Pull back, you go up. Press spacebar, go forward, go back, you'll stay in the same height. So this is good for building. So we can go along and you press the run as well, which is a shift. There you go. So you've built. Now without that, you wouldn't be able to do that. We are going to raise it slightly, or is it we're going to lower it slightly? Lower it slightly. You'd only be able to do that, or go sideways. So here's the problem. With the keyboard and mouse, you can press the space button. You can choose to use that or not. With controller support, you can't. There's no set height. So if we look at it in the options, allows height change in flight mode. So that basically means you stay at the same height or you change height. But on controller support, you don't have that. However, on Steam, there's a way around it. Let's make sure I got my controller on. And we press up. There we go. Right, so if we go into here and we click on there, so on gamepad, we edit layout, go onto D-pad. Now you notice I've already done this. D-pad down, D-pad up. I changed it to the space key. So in order to do that, you'd literally, see by default it is this one. Look, D-pad up. But if you change it to the space key, which is the one which remains height, so you go on to keyboard and click on space. Now we can just go up and down. We can go forward and back. This solves the problem. So we can now actually remain at the height. So then you would press, I think it's the Y. Click on it, click A button to click on it. Click Y then again to choose the variant, and A button. It's a bit of a faff using a controller, I'm going to be honest. It's the X. I keep wanting to press A. Get your hairpin, the little cross there over it. Click X, and there you go. There you go. You will get used to it. I haven't used it enough to be used to it. But it's certainly doable. It's certainly achievable, and you can build your own track. So we can enter that train by pressing X. By clicking the right controller, we can change the height. Use the left controller now to change the reverser up and down. It's the LB to remove brake, LT to put it on, and RT to put that up. This you would get used to quite easily. Apart from it not wanting to stay on. If you see RT, you can actually hold the RT down and go left and right, and you can actually still control it inside. So you can still do first person in here. Now next we'll look at the very quick look at the Steam Deck. It's not worth much of a look. The game requires a little bit too much for the Steam Deck. At 15 watts, you'll get about 20 FPS. As you can see, there's a lot of stuttering. Only the first 2 maps actually load. If you go pre-made tracks. All 4 should load if you are empty. Well, that just simply tells me it's too much for it if once you start building. So if you did load the one of the 3rd or 4th map and actually then went, added stuff to it, eventually it wouldn't load onto your game save, just wouldn't load, and the FPS would die. Best you're going to get is around 20 FPS, I think. The stuttering is awful. You still have to use controller. You can use the same trick I just used then for actually setting the height. That works fine. The controller works fine. You would get used to the controller, but it's not really playable, and I wouldn't recommend it. I've really enjoyed watching the game being built from scratch from the point it got released in 2021 to the point it is now. The first series, as I showed in the beginning of the video, that if you touched anything, be it if you could see it or sometimes it's invisible, that the loco would just go flying off. The fact that they've added more maps, they've added more industry changes. There's now really 3. It's the gold, there's the oil, and there's the food. So it's come a long way, this game. It's not a perfect game, but it is potentially a game you alone or you with lots of friends can sink a lot of time into. And at the end of the day, that's all you really can ask for a game. So I think that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press that like button. If you see more, please subscribe and press that ding-a-dong bell button. You know what it does. See you next time. Bye.